welcome back, guys. It's been a week here for the Nerditudes and the Full Throttle Sim Racing Series. They had their off week for 2023 A's conclusion, and now we're back for the 2023 B season here in the Martin Sports Truck Series race. Just kicking it off live from Charlotte, simulated, of course, 1.5 miles, doing it at 134 laps tonight. Stage break's going to come early at lap 40, and then we're going to have just under 100 laps to settle that thing out once and for all. To open this thing up, we got a huge crowd tonight, 32 drivers in the field. If I'm doing my math correctly, 25% of the field is new here. 8 new drivers involved here to the opening race of the 2023 B season. Weather on the track looking pretty good. You see it right now in your lower left-hand corner of your screen. 84 on the track, 80 in the skies, so we're not starting off from those triple digits. That's going to bring awesome racing to Charlotte. Its track always produces great racing, but when you get the lower temps and the grip is high, expect to see an awesome race here for the Martin Sports Truck Series. My name, of course, is Jeremy Stanley, and no Jason tonight, but I'm going to be co-broadcasting and also my /producer to my right-hand side, Mr. Dustin Logston. Ready to kick this thing kicked off this season?
I tell you what, if 2023A is any sign of what to expect for 2023B, these drivers are going to bring it all. We got some new faces in here. You'd mentioned that on your opening there. Got some new faces here, so we don't know what to expect with some of these drivers. But if they're here and they've passed the inspection, so to speak, of Full Throttle Sim Racing, they should probably be some high caliber drivers. I mean, this league always brings some good racing. But I mean, Charlotte. I mean, let's talk about this track. I mean, Memorial Day weekend. We all know what the holiday stands for and everything else, so it's always good to see some of these drivers. They support those patriotic, those military and those servicemen and women paint schemes, so it's always good to see some of those. The Stars and Stripes, I know we have a couple of those as well. I think, McKinney had a Stars and Stripes one. It was definitely a really good-looking truck as well, so should be a good race all the way around.
Yeah, it's Cody McKinney in the 28. That's an excellent-looking scheme, and it's a custom one, too. It's nothing that's, ran in the real world, just transferred over. So I love the customization here. There's quite a few formal guys in here that's in here every single season. It has some new colors. Brody Hanna, Richie Coy, I've noticed 2 of them. I think Justin Diltz changed it up a little bit. Of course, you got your regulars, too, like Sherwood Williford, always in that classic Kevin Harvick / Dale Sr. throwback there. Duranko's in a familiar skin. So just some changes up. So you're going to have to watch out for the new guys. You're going to have to watch out for the new skins. And, of course, with 8 new drivers, you might see a pretty fun, exciting race. We don't have any idea how these guys are going to perform. But you said if they go through FTSR and get signed up and Brody and the admins accept them, I think they're going to be something good.
Yeah, and I mean, we got to look at the track, too. I mean, this track here usually poses some very good racing, especially in the trucks here. We don't have very many of these quad oval setups anymore, which is sad because I really enjoy these quad oval setups. You got your Atlanta, your Texas, and your Charlotte. That's essentially what you got. A lot of them during that era went to the cookie cutter style, like Kentucky, Kansas, Chicagoland. But the quad ovals always pose some good racing. The finishes were always good with that front stretch configuration. So this is one of the tracks I do enjoy.
Yeah, I don't know the stats on why they got more cookie cutter just tri-ovals instead of the quad ovals. I think personally it might be a safety factor when you're running straight and then you have a nice little cut into the wall there, which we've seen some hard crashes here at Charlotte in years past, like 10, 15 years ago, where they just get hooked just outside of turn 4 and just smash the outside wall where it straightens out. So that could be a part of it. I don't know, but they seem to be okay with Atlanta. They just did that track, and they kept the quad oval. So I don't know the stats on that. It does produce hard-hitting incidences, and it's harder to go through there, right? Because in Charlotte, that front stretch is not too wide. So if you go 3 wide off the corner, either the guy in the middle or the guy in the top has to lift, or they're going to be hitting each other or the outside wall.
Yeah, and that outside wall there going through that quad oval comes fast. Comes very fast on that front stretch, and like you said, that's where it gets real rough. And especially when it gets too wide. If one person just falters, it doesn't lift enough. I mean, that's where it's at. But practice is winding down. We got 2 seconds left right now. Brody Hanna on that 23 is leading the way with Cody McKinney in that 28. running in P2. So Jeremy, qualifying should be pretty good.
No surprise to see Brody P1 on the charts here as time hits 0. That means Brody Hanna has won the practice session. This man, in 23, won 4 times in 2023A. And let's see if he can grab the pole here. We're going to ride on board with him in this qualifying session to see what he can do to post his time. As Dustin is waving goodbye, we're going to cut our screens off a little earlier, our cameras rather, so we can put full focus on this qualifying session here. So we're waiting for some of these guys to get on track and see here. Right now we're on board with, it looks like Sherwood Williford in a 33 as he is launching off into turn 2 here. We're going to see what time Mr. Sherwood Williford can propose.
Yeah, Sherwood Williford coming off right now. Some of the drivers changing their setups. I do know Richie Coy is out on his lap. But this is a very fast track. It's not going to be uncommon for these drivers to kind of run it somewhat super speedway-esque, running that high side there to try to build some speed up. But you're going to see them, they're going to hug that bottom line. They're going to try to take that shortest route around the track. They're going to try to dive it down, try to hit that apex right there. And once they hit the apex, let it roll off naturally to that wall off turn 2. You don't want to get too close with these trucks, though, because that error will slow you down just a bit. Sherwood takes a nice conservative approach into turn 3, down near that line, lets it glide off turn 4, and then he's going to cut it down towards that line, straight to the line.
Very classic line around Charlie here. Going to put up a 30.02, 1/10 off of his fastest practice time just a handful of minutes ago. So he got turn 1 and 2. Looks like a little bit higher. He doesn't get all the exit though. He shortcuts the exit just a little. He's coming through 3 and 4 now. Looks like he's about the same as what he was. Maybe a little bit of push there off of 4 coming off turn 4 to hit the start finish line. I think this might be a little bit slower of a lap time. No, and actually, nope. I guess the push actually worked for him, moving him up to a 29.989. Going to put him P4 so far on the boards.
Yeah, P4 right now. Bobby Terrell leads with a 29.89. Right now, P1, we're on board with Brody Hanna, who again sat here and took a little bit more conservative out lap all the way around, but he is full sending it right now, right down on that blue and white line. He's flying, Jeremy, right now. He's got a good blistering lap right now as he's going through the sectors. As long as he hits turns 3 and 4 here, keeps it down, looking down right on that line, coming right off. As long as he has a good exit and doesn't slip any. That was close. This one might be a heater right here, Jeremy.
Maximizing his lap there at a 29.8. It's going to move him all the way up to P1.
29.86 for Brody Hanna on that lap right there. He went out. I mean, he was maximizing, using everything that he possibly could. So, I mean, right now, he's definitely fast. We're riding on board with Justin Diltz. New colors for Justin for 2023B right now, as he is now on his out lap. Going to go through turns 3 and 4 right now, coming to the green flag. See him running that higher line right there, trying to maximize and get that truck up to speed. Coming off turn 4, he's going to hit that first leg there, take the line for his green flag, Jeremy.
Interesting design on the number choice there. That number 1 almost looks like it blends in with the 9 a little too much, so it get me tripped up because we have a newcomer, Marshall Johnson, also in the 9, so it looks like there's almost 2 9s out there, but definitely using this lap 1. It looks like a lot of the drivers are doing the same thing, which is to just get the tires warmed up, get them ready for lap 2, because right now it looks like most of the guys on the boards who have done both laps, lap 2 was the fastest.
Yeah, but you get the heat built up in the tires a little bit more. You get a little bit more confidence sending this thing off, because for a lot of those out there, it's hard. You see right there, Justin Diltz gets a little bobble as he tries to pin it down to the inside line there, and he loses a lot of speed. That's what it's like with these. When you try to really stick it down there, I mean, you're flinging it in there. You're going in on a hope, a whim, and a prayer that it's going to stick. And if those tires and temps aren't built up just enough to do it, that truck's going to let you know.
It really will, and there's a little bit of extra grip here at the simulated Charlotte Motor Speedway on the middle to upper lane, but it's not going to be enough for qualifying, as the bottom is the preferred way. 30.3 shows it, where Diltz ran just the middle of the track all the way around each corner set, so that's going to put him actually 29th place, or 24th as it cycles through on my end there. So that's a 5/10 difference, a half a second between him and the pole sitter Brody Hanna, one of 3 trucks to hit the .8 bracket.
Yeah. So again, only 3 trucks are in the 29.8-second bracket. 2 of them happen to be teammates. That's Brody Hanna in P1 and Bobby Terrell, P3. They will be starting nose to tail. And then the other one is Tommy Schaefer in that 29, Jeremy.
And that's going to wind out qualifying. So Brody Hanna wins practice, wins qualifying. Now he has one thing left to do, win the race. And we're going to go over the starting lineup right here for tonight's Charlotte 200. 23, Brody Hanna is going to take the pole for the first time this season. Tommy Schaefer is going to start in second on the top. Bobby Terrell is going to start in third place. Cody McKinney in the 28 is going to start to his outside in fourth. Mark Brannigan, brand new to the league, is going to be starting in fifth place. Michael Blackner to his outside at sixth. Tyler Brown, seventh. Richie Coy is going to start in eighth place. Stephen Hollingsworth, ninth. Sherwood Williford, 10th.
Starting in 11th is going to be J.P. Burns. 12th is going to be 12th is going to be, is going to be Connor LaFrance. 13th is going to be Marshall Johnson. 14th is going to be Lane Allen. Steve Loomis will roll off in 15th spot. And you got Robert Malikian in 16th. You got TJ Partel rolling off P17. P18 is going to be Sylvain Jolly. And then you have in P19, you have Colby Meese. And then in the P20, and that number 18 is Joey McKinney.
Round out the field, Tony Solari going to be starting back there in 21st. Chad Kerr in 22nd. Newcomer Austin Gassion, if you can correct me on that, please do. He's going to be starting in 23rd. Justin Diltz, 24th. Tyler Granat, 25th. Alan Duranco, 26th. Richard Tucker, 27th. Ryan Chapman, I know he doesn't start typically this far in the back. Missed it on his qualifying lap. Starts 28th. Derek Catt, newcomer, going to be starting 29th. And the last 3 on the grid did not post a qualifying time. That's going to be Curtis Vollmer, James Torrey, and Colton Gum, which will round out tonight's 32 truck lineup for this Charlotte 200.
Yeah, and one thing I want to talk about is look at those trucks lined up on that front stretch. That's one thing I love. I love this track and the way that they actually line the cars up on their starting grid. It's a beautiful thing. It showcases the drivers. It's not like lining them up on pit road. Like, they are out there in front, right there, close to the fans. I love how they line it up here at Charlotte.
I know this game's all about realism, but some of the tracks, I know they do it on iRacing Super Speedway. I know they do it, on that track. I know they do it here at Charlotte. I don't know if there's any other track where they have them staggered on the front stretch. I mean, an iRacing Super Speedway, I can see why it's not a good idea because you start on a slope. And a lot of guys get stuck on the apron, especially if you're in a next-gen car. But I love to see it, though, too. It's something unique, and you have something to pay attention to. Also to notate at Charlotte, when they do the Roval later this year, they also start that way, which you don't see that ever on a road course, but iRacing does it, and I love it as well. So maybe some more tracks or some updates in the future. Just maybe we can see that here. But Pace Car's got one corner left to go through, and we're going to get 2023B kicked off and underway. Charlotte's going to be an excellent race. This race never fails to produce awesome racing. Doesn't matter what car combination you bring here. It always produces well. And 134 laps at FTSR, it's going to be nothing different. Waiting for the green flag to start off this season. There it is. It is out. Brody Hanna gets a great start over Tommy Schaefer in the 29. There's going to clear him way before turn 1 even as they head off into turn number 1. Top 2, single file out. Looks like Tommy Schaefer likes to run the middle of the groove, at least early on here. It's going to open the door for the number 4, Bobby Terrell, as he's going to try to sweep in and get up with his teammate there to be P1 and P2.
Yeah, right now, Brody Hanna leading the way. Tommy Schaefer right in line. They're the only 2 that are nose to tail lined up right now. 2 wide for that 3rd place. Bobby Terrell on that 4 on the inside. The 28 of Cody McKinney on the outside finally gets clear, so top 3 are going to be in line right now. Looking like it's now that they actually get lined up, now the 85 of Brannigan will fall in line. So right now, Jeremy, it looks like about all the way back through the top 10 are in line. And as I say that, Bobby Terrell's like, yeah, watch me make a fool of you, boy.
Yeah, Tommy Schaefer actually had a little bit of a hiccup there in the middle of 2 and off exit. Checked up enough to where Bobby just said, yeah, I'm not going to wait this early and lose all this time to my teammate here. So it gets cleared of Tommy Schaefer, that being the 4 of Bobby Terrell. gets into turn number 1, where I expect to see him make that pass complete, and there it goes. That's going to leave Cody McKinney alongside Tommy Schaefer there, exiting turn number 2. And at 85 there, Mark Brannigan, this is the first time we've seen him. He's the fastest running driver so far out of the 8 new guys here in the FTSR Martin Sports Truck Series. I'm kind of curious what he has in stock for these guys. But everyone's single filed out back through about 15th before you're going to find your first 2x2 situation. So some early patience here for these guys.
Yeah, and I honestly, Jeremy, I have to say I'm surprised that it single filed out as fast as what it did, and these guys are as single filed as what they did. Whoa, a little bit of contact there, and it looks like the 14 Elaine Allen might have had a slight tank slap coming off of that corner there. Again, these guys trying to bid for every bit of real estate that they have right now, but they're giving a good fight all the way around. You see right now, look at this hornet's nest right now that Richie Coy is in. Right smack dab in the middle. You got the 00 of Brown on the outside, Williford behind him. You've got the 5 of Hollinsworth in front of him. So again, right now he is just trying to make his way up. Right now, 2 of his teammates, Hannah and Terrell, are running 1 and 2. His other teammate, Solari, running back in P21.
Man, this is a good little race right here, just inside the top 10. These 5 trucks, nose to tail, side by side. I know we're only 6 laps in, and Tyler has not started to falter these guys just yet, but I love it. Ooh, that 00 Tyler Brown, super loose, locks it up slightly to keep it straight, and he didn't lose too much time. Excellent driving there by the 00 Tyler Brown. And this allows Sherwood Williford to make that pass over the 16 there of Robert Malikian. And now 33 is going to try to pass Tyler Brown off the 4.
Yeah, and right now you can see that, I mean, that's the second person we've seen had to make a correction there to save it. So, again, these tires still trying to build stuff up. We are only working lap 7. I mean, they should be getting pretty close to their comfort zone. But, again, this is open setup racing. We don't know what these drivers bring. We don't know how well they, what their setups are built for. Jeremy, you and I both know there's drivers that will bring short run setups if they think that they're going to have quick cautions so that they're fast on the short runs. There's some that'll be fast on the mid, some that'll build their setup specifically for that long run. So you and I are at a complete surprise. We don't know what type of setup these drivers are going to bring.
Typically speaking, you are absolutely correct. I do know that some of these guys that run here consecutively each and every week, like your Richie Coy, he's the fastest or one of during this long run process. Brody's always hit or miss. Oh, we got some contact here. The 16 of Malikian and the 00 Tyler Brown make contact in the middle of 3 and 4. It's going to set them 3 wide with Lou Allen there on the bottom side. And it looks like they quickly sort out the 3x3, but now here we go. We're 2x2 here with the 16 now alongside the 14 and the 9 along the 52. As they come off the turn number 2, it looks like they almost get sorted out, but that could have been big off of 4. Good thing these guys saved it.
Yeah, and like I said, there for a split second, 6 trucks there, you could throw a blanket over all 6 of them and cover them from nose to tail. That's how close they were. Again, excellent job that you talked about that 3 wide scenario. This is not a track that you want to go 3 wide, and if you are 3 wide or put in that situation, you definitely don't want to stay 3 wide very long. So it was definitely smart of those drivers to back it out, back down to 2 wide, because that would have gotten ugly real fast.
And we mentioned that too during the pre-race there, by sponsored by Martin Sports, is if you go 3 wide on that front stretch, the quad oval section, it doesn't favor that. If you're in a cookie cutter tri-oval where you can just have a nice sweeping corner, it's so much easier. But when you have to make that extra kinked through the straightaway, it makes it really tough. And they definitely said we don't want to do that. They made it 2x2 real quick. But now everything else is really single file. Looks like inside the top, or just outside the top 5 rather. It looks like the 22 and the 33 were side by side. They're going to try to exchange positions here. 33 does pass the 22. It's going to move Mr. Williford up in 8th.
Yeah, Sherwood Williford moving up into that 8th position. The 29 of Tommy Schaefer has taken back that 2nd place start. That's where he started this race. Something that I'm watching right now is he is running about a lane higher than most other drivers right now, Jeremy. You see a lot of the other drivers being the 23 of Hannah, the 28 of McKinney. When they go into that, they arc it down, and they're right next. They're painting that white and blue line down on the inside, whereas Tommy Schaefer, he runs about a lane higher, lane and a half higher than a lot of these other drivers. and he gets that excellent run coming off the corner. The thing is he has to be careful. You stated it more times than not, Jeremy, that when you run that high line like that, tire wear is based off of speed. If you run that high line like that, you maintain a higher speed, which means you burn your tires faster. So you got to be careful. There's a give and take on.
Yeah, I think it's Charlotte is one of those few tracks where you can get away with it maybe a little bit more than some others. I think because there's definitely a little bit of an extra grip layer on the middle to upper half of this track. And so if you set your truck up to be a little bit looser, where you're using the right rear more so than the front tires, you could manhandle the top here, still kick the truck a little sideways, give you great launch speed off the corner exit. But when he goes to the bottom, I'm sure he's feeling a little bit of an oversteer situation. And so he just feels more comfortable in the middle of the track, and it's paying dividends for him right now. He is maintaining pace with the 23 of Hannum, and the 28 of Cody McKinney seems to have a little bit faster pace than these two guys in front of him. But the thing is with Cody McKinney, you got one truck running high, one truck running low, and they're running the same speed. How do you pass?
Yeah, and that's the tough thing, especially when they're taking up essentially what a driver has as a preferred line. Their setups are built and designed for something. Looks like the 29 of Schaefer might have got close to that wall. Don't know if he made contact, but it was awfully close. But drivers and their setups are designed and built to run a specific preferred line. And when drivers are taking up those lines and you have to push your truck outside of what it was designed and set up for, that pushes the not only the truck, but the driver to all new limits on that. And you got to get creative sometimes. And sometimes you got to go in and just hope for the best that it's going to stick.
And it didn't for the 29 last lap off of turn 2. That's why you see Cody McKinney now in second place. 29 runs that truck a little bit looser to run that upper half of the track. And he got definitely a little sideways off the corner exit, allowed the 28 of McKinney to get to the bottom, pass him before even turn 3. So he gave him a nice clean pass. And now 28 can really just focus in on the 23 here. He has a little bit faster pace. He just has to kind of maintain that tire wear, which he's actually found the middle of the track now, kind of taking a page out of the 29's book, is kind of focusing in right now on the 52 there, the 14, the 9, a couple of newcomers here to the Full Throttle Sim Racing Series. You got Sylvain Jolly right behind
tell you
them.
what,
and then, what's up?
Yeah, I tell you what, these guys here, they are fighting for the camera right now. I mean, they're saying, hey, those guys up front, they're leading the race. That's awesome. But, man, look at the racing that we're putting on. These guys have been door to door. I've seen a couple door slaps, some grinding going on, 2x2, sliding, and these guys are still keeping it going forward. They're still keeping it straight. And look at this. I mean, look at that. The 9 and the 14. I mean, these guys are putting on a show back here. They're proving right now. They're saying, hey, leaders aren't the only ones that need the camera time.
Marshall Johnson, one of the newcomers, he got a little bit tight there off of turn 2, had a back up for the 14 and made that look easy for Lane Allen to make that pass there. But yeah, definitely fighting for some TV time, a few extra spots back. It looks like maybe the 17 of Steve Loomis almost going 3 wide here entering turn number 1. He's running alongside, it looks like JP Burns and also the 41 here of Austin Gassion. These guys now trying to move some spots up through the field.
Yeah, and I tell you what, I'm going to give Gassion a lot of credit on that. He is being very patient right now. A couple times he could have pushed that thing 3 wide, and he didn't. He's waiting patiently, very reminiscent of a Richie Coy. I mean, we talk about that all the time. Richie Coy is very patient, will wait for the driver to make a mistake or move out of the lane and then pounce, and that's exactly what the 41 of Gassion did.
This race is still looking pretty good back here as well. As you're now focusing just a few trucks in front. Looks like almost 3 wide. They almost wanted to. Looks like the 15, at the 15, no, 75 there almost tried to do it. But Marshall Johnson still just really trying to get around this 14. He got tight about 3 or 4 laps ago underneath him. Could not make that pass, and now he is here again coming through 1 and 2. Let's see if he can get the stick and make that pass on the backstretch.
Yeah, it looks like he has a hard time keeping that truck down. As you see, he floats up, and right there you see his truck take a turn down about a half a lane to a lane. That's because of the amount of wheel he's putting into it right now. That is a tight truck, and he's trying his best to keep it down so when it comes off the corner, that's when it then gets real light and wants to get loose. So that's what we that's a tight loose right there. And that's not what you want, especially at this track here, and especially when you're 2x2 by 2 like what they are.
That's the driver's worst nightmare on an oval, where you're tight into the corner, so you can't carry the speed, and then corner exits where you need to make up for it, and then you can't even stick the throttle. So, as for me personally, I hate that scenario. But we got that stage break coming up in about 17 or 18 laps, so they got time to fix it. But this race is still looking pretty good, Dustin, just outside this top 10.
Yeah, and I mean, it's, you know us, we love giving everybody camera time, and we always try to work our way around and give everybody that camera time, because I mean, that's why we're here, is we want to showcase everybody. But I mean, this race in here, I mean, look at this shot. I mean, all these drivers right back here. I mean, you even go further back to Sylvain Jolly. You got Joey McKinney, Steve Loomis. You know, these drivers here are still giving it everything. Here you see McKinney working up on that that third groove up there. Right behind, and look at, I mean, Lane Allen right up there as well. I mean, these drivers are really putting on a show. But just to go back, looks like, man, we have, what is that, the 8 truck back there? That was Colby Mice, was really loose coming off the turn 4 before entering that front stretch.
Yeah, I'm just actually going through this whole field, Dustin, and I'm seeing just consistent two wide racing. Yeah, from all the way up from like inside the top 5, all the way back here, fighting for 22nd, 23rd place. So the first few laps were just, grip and rip, and now when the tire wear starting to set in, people are just having a lot of fun out here. I'm sure they don't want to be in this predicament all race long, but for us viewers and broadcasters, it's a great time to watch it. Right now we're focused on the 29 of Schaefer, who continues to fall back. That upper lane strategy, I think, is starting to falter for that machine, and I'm sure he's really excited for this stage break coming up here momentarily.
Yeah, and as we have a caution comes out right now, Jeremy, so that right there, and it looks like it's going to involve the 18 of Joey McKinney involved in that one there. We're going to take a quick Nerd TV replay look and see exactly what happened. Looks like contact between the 18 and the 17. 18 goes around, spin cycles it, clips the 8 of Kobe Meese. Keeps it going. Damage on that truck, Jeremy, but I mean, it looks like it might be manageable depending on that right side damage right now. Again, he's wobbling back and forth on it, but it seems like he's up to speed. We're going to see if we can't get another look at that one there.
The 18 hits the 17. 18 minus 17 equals number 1. That's your first roasted Jim's coffee there. The 17 just got loose off a corner exit. Came down about a half a lane, and the 18 was just happened to be there, and sent him up to the outside wall. And there were so many trucks that could have been involved in this wreck. You see right there at the tail end of that contact, 18 going around for a loop, makes that contact with the Colby Mice. They're now on the apron side, so 3 trucks in total of damage. The 18 has a lot to repair. He might be able to get that thing fully repaired before this thing goes green flag, but thankfully he's got 10 laps or so before we're going to see stage, so you can get that thing more repaired. But that's a long road ahead, because this is such a fast track. You need all the downforce to get another angle from Colby Mice, just making some contact. Not too much there on the right front.
Yeah, that was a close call. You cannot get any closer than that. Unfortunate break there from the with the 18 and the 17 on that as well. But we were just talking about these trucks, that tire wear setting in, these trucks getting tight like that. I mean, that's what happens. Trucks are getting tight, trucks are getting loose. When you're trying to come off that corner, the truck may not want to turn, just naturally drifts up to that wall. Some of these setups, again, we've seen a couple of those trucks, Jeremy, they were getting loose off that corner there. It's a product of this kind of racing here. Wasn't down to anybody. It's just, tire wear. I mean, we seen what happened with the 29 running that specific lane that he was running. And we seen what maybe a little bit of damage could have done too. We know that he kind of wall slapped it and drug it just a little bit. And you see how far back the 29 fell. So, that's something they got to keep in mind.
We got about a lap left before we're going to go back to green flag racing here. I'd like to thank one of our partners over at Sim Racing Points. The all-inclusive league points management system that allows league owners and admins the ability to completely track their league stats and points with one simple upload. Sim Racing Points does not stop there, though. For your avid webmasters, it allows for custom creation of widgets and full-page displays with results and more that easily are easily updated whenever you upload the export. So with a few simple clicks of your mouse, your league can be up and running and looking professional while doing so. If you are interested in this program, you head over to simracingpoints.com, check out their price plans, and also visit FTSR.net. They utilize this software to its fullest extent. So it'll give you everything to kind of fiddle around with as a beta test before you get yourself signed up. It's much worth it. A lot of customization for a product that doesn't come at a high price point. It's actually going to take one extra lap here, so a lap and a half before we go back to green flag. Mark Brannigan, I like to highlight him in the 85. One of 4 drivers new to this league that's on Eastern Stars Motorsports. They got Austin Gassion, Connor LaFrance, Tyler Granat, and Mark Brannigan, of course, now sitting in 4th place, up 1 spot from his starting position. Eastern Stars Motorsports might be showing up with some fast speed to open up this season.
And I mean, from what we have, it again, this is our first showing of them as well. I mean, you got 2 of their team drivers right now in the top 10. You got Brannigan and you got LaFrance right now running 4th and 9th respectively. So, like I said, I mean, the Gassion is running 14th. So you got 3 of them in the top 15. We know the level of competition here at Full Throttle Sim Racing. So having 3 trucks as a brand new team coming in, and you got, you have 4 team trucks, 3 of them right now in the top 15. Granat right now is in the 20, so all 4 of them in the top 20. That's a pretty solid stat right there.
Yeah, no kidding, right? Show your speed early, show everyone what you're worth, and they're doing a great job and doing it clean too. I know the 9, or yeah, Gassion's just having a little bit of a tight, loose situation, but outside of that, the other guys have just been doing excellent work here so far through 20, now 8 laps. I'm currently lap 29. When these guys go back to green flag racing, we'll have 11 laps before we'll see the stage break. So this is a little sprint race for you guys. A little 11-lap shootout to see who can get it done, who can get first, and who can get faster than the 23 Hannah, because right now, leading every single lap in this race.
Yeah, Brody definitely came guns a-blazing there. So, again, 11 laps, Jeremy. I mean, these guys, we thought the racing was fast and furious. No shout out to the movies or anything else, but I mean, that's just plain and simple the verbiage that best describes it. 11 laps. Stage points mean a lot. You know, your top 10 finishers right now get points. That can make or break a championship. These drivers are going to be giving it everything.
Oh, they certainly will. This is going to be an excellent little 11-lap sprint here as we're waiting for the green flag to fly, and there it goes. Green flag out for the 2nd time this evening. The 28 of McKinney gets a great start. Almost looked like Hannah had a little bit of a tire spin. His truck went a little right to left. Allows for Cody to really launch out the gates here. First lead change of this evening, and Mark Brannigan Jr. on the top side of the 23 makes one pass over to 5 and trying to get 2 spots in 1 lap.
Yeah, he's trying right now. Again, real close. It almost looked like there might have been slight contact between the doors of the 85 and the 23, but they kept it going straight. They are side by side coming off of turn 4 right now. Right now, Brody Hannah not wanting to give up that 2nd position, and right now that 85 is hungry, trying to make a statement. You see Brody Hannah drifts up just a little bit there. That allows the 85, that forces him to check up and slow up just enough. Brody Hannah will take over P2. 85 will drop to P3. 85 not done yet, though, Jeremy. He's showing a nose to the inside. Brody goes down to block, but they better be careful. That 5 of Hollinsworth right now up on that high side. He's ripping it. He may come by and take both of those positions if they're not careful.
Yeah, why not go for it, man? This little short sprint. These guys have 3 sets of tires in pit road. Well, 2 sets rather. So you got to conserve a little bit, but this sprint race is definitely going to cause a lot of these guys to take the tires if they didn't already. Excellent showing here from the 85. He did score that 2nd place on that lap a lap ago, so 2 spots for him in 1 lap. But he did drop to the 23 as he almost made contact with the 85. And now the 85 is trying to fight off Hollingsworth, who's doing an excellent job running the top right now. And even though these guys are racing side by side, they are still approaching Cody McKinney. So right now, Cody's not showing that pace as he did on the first couple laps. But we got 8 laps to go here. 1st and 2nd place are kind of figured out at the moment, but here comes the 3rd and 4th place truck. Both of them, even though they're side by side, still getting to the back bumper of Brody. 5 gives them great shove down the back stretch and off of turn number 3, still side by side.
Still side by side, and look who's in that 5th position right now. That 19 Tabasco sauce coming on pretty hot right now, as he's
One
worked
truck in
his
the
way
back.
up. He has worked his way up, but you see that he has backed off, and that's going to be an unfortunate. We have our second roasted gems caution flag, and Jeremy, this one looks like it's going to involve the number 27 of Ryan Chapman, unfortunately.
Yeah, he just got really bad loose there. Had to check up in front of the 81 of Tyler Granat, and Tyler had nowhere to go and barely bumped the 27. So, and it was a clean spin, no contact to the wall or anything. Just has to get his tires changed. But excellent racing there. But this is also going to produce even now a shorter sprint race when the green flag drops.
Yeah, and in all honesty, Jeremy, I mean, you couldn't, for Ryan Chapman, I mean, nobody wants to spin, but you couldn't have asked for a better one. You see, he had to check up a little bit there from the 9, and it was just enough with as close as the 81 was. 81 couldn't check up in time, but that's the best case scenario right there. Slight contact on the back, you spun, nobody else was collected in it, no damage to the truck, regather yourself, get back out there, line it up, and rip it again. You know, that right there is best case scenario for that 27.
Yeah, 100%. Excellent job there to kind of lock it down and keep it to the bottom of the track. If you were aggressive on trying to save that thing, you could have turned it right and tried to overcorrect and cause more problems. But he just took the loss there, went to the bottom, and thankfully he got scored with a caution there, presented by Roasted Gems. So able to get those new tires, keep his lap, and maybe he'll make his way back up to the front for these next few laps before we get the stage break.
Speaking of stage break, Jeremy, this is going to be a little shootout. These drivers here, I mean, we thought 11 laps is going to be a shootout. Holy smokes, man. These drivers are not going to hold up right now. But we have to keep in the back of our mind, Jeremy, that the restart that the 23 had on the last restart, I mean, there was tire spin there. These tires now have 36 laps worth on them. Granted, not all green flag, but I mean, these drivers may not have been running them easy either. So you have to be careful on your throttle up like that because it will lead to tire slippage. So you got to be careful on it. One thing I do want to mention, though, is we do have there
he is.
Yep, first time. You know what's coming up. That hashtag Get a Grip Lucky Dog presented by Martin Sports goes to Joey McKinney. Again, he brought out was part of that first. He didn't bring out. He was part of that first Roasted Gems coffee. Able to get that truck fixed. He gets a lap back, so get your lap back, come back up, and let's rack him and stack him and do it all over again.
First award presented for the season, and hopefully that's the last one that he earns, because if you don't earn them, that means you're doing something good, typically. As he gets back around to the tail end of the field, he was one lap down. Now he's going to resume on the lead lap, which will put 30 trucks, only 2 trucks right now, outside of the lead lap. That's the 83 of Richard Tucker and the number 6 of James Torrey, and those are 16 and 17 laps down respectively, both of which are on the track. So they weren't involved in any wreck either, the 6 and the 83, so I wonder why there's such a huge amount of laps down. I didn't see any reason why, and those trucks, I mean, they got a little damage, but I don't think it was worth that much.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what happened to that. It wasn't anything that was enough for iRacing to throw out and issue out a Roasted Gems caution. So again, that's just unfortunate. A little bit of damage on that. It's tough. It's tough when it comes to these tracks, Jeremy.
Actually, I went back and watched it. Now, you're probably not going to be able to catch it on your software there. But on lap 18, James Torrey in the 83, James Torrey got hooked by the 83 Richard Tucker on the front stretch and just clobbered. He did right where I was talking about in the pre-race show, where the quad oval has that kink after the front start-finish line. They just destroyed the wall on the top, and so that's why they had such a massive amount of laps down compared to everybody else. But those trucks look really good in comparison to how hard they hit that wall. I think that thing would have been done. But either way, they're back on the track, though. It looks like on their TV replay, we might have it. Well, that's actually the post of it. We kick it back just a couple frames. We'll see exactly what happened here. But just 83 coming wide off the first kink, comes down and boom.
Oh, jeez. That's what we were talking about, though. That front stretch is so... Even 2 wide is tough, so 3 wide is not going to work. But that's why. I mean, It is deceiving. I mean, yeah, you're looking at it right now on that live feed. It looks like a 4-lane highway right now, but it is flat. And with the amount of speed that these trucks carry when they come off at turn 4, you don't have as much room as what you think you have, because that truck naturally wants to sit here and just curve up towards that wall a little bit. So your space gets cut down pretty fast.
Shout out to you in the production booth while broadcasting with me to pull that feed from a handful of laps ago, just like that. I took, what, 10 seconds to produce that? So just quite a quick shout out to my producer.
Well, when you're in the booth with an excellent lead like yourself that gives me enough information that I can sit here and track it down a little faster, that helps out. But that's what we try to do. We try to bring all the action to everybody out there, let everybody know exactly what's going on.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. And I want to jump to YouTube in the chats. Username Caution, which is kind of ironic for watching a sim race here. His comment just says hell. I think that was in conjunction with that wreck that happened with the 30 or the 83 and the 6. If I'm assuming that correctly, but what a hell of a name there to bring to the chats. But we're about to go back to green flag. This green flag will drop on lap 39, so it'll literally be a 2-lap shootout, a green checker type scenario, or green-white checker rather. We'll see if Cody can get the jump like he did last time on the 23, or will the 23 find that upper grip and get a good launch over him. Green flag is out just at the edge of the restart zone. Almost a dead heat at the start-finish line. Pit lane is closed for the stage break with 2 laps left or less. Everybody remains side by side this time through 1 and 2, Dustin.
Oh man, this is a tight restart right here. Ooh. This is a lot tighter than the last 2 we've had side by side right now. I did notice there was a little damage on the side of the 23, so he did get into it. But I tell you what, that high run off of turn 2, 23 edges out the 28 right now, takes over that lead. But look at the 85 of Brannigan right now on that top side. He is trying to fight that 28 of Cody McKinney for that P2, and I think he got him that time crossing the line.
This is getting really good here. The 85, I think, had to check up slightly entering turn 3, or else he might have had a better shot here. But coming through the... Ooh, the 23 blocks the low lane there. It's going to allow the 85 to bump him, but then still makes a great shot to turn 3. Just make sure you don't overdrive it. The 23 overdrives it. He's going to push the middle of the track. Coming off of turn 4 for the stage break, in the 85 of Mark Brannigan. Eastern Star Motorsports will take it home for the 10 points. First stage win of the season belongs to newcomer Mark Brannigan.
What a race to end the stage on that one there. I tell you what, that 85, I mean, he was ripping it hard. You got to remember right now, folks, that these drivers have been out there on these tires now for at least, I would say, green flag laps, at least 34 laps out of the 40 that they had there, close to. And they haven't been the easiest on him whatsoever. So for him to sit here and jump up to that high side like that, when we talked about throwing it into the corners like that on a hope, a whim, and a prayer, and hoping it's going to stick, that's exactly what we were talking about right there.
Yeah, 100%. And this is going to bring us to our first commercial break of the evening. So stay tuned. We'll be back with you guys after these guys make their pit stops and we present a few of our sponsors. And back to full screen action here for the Martin Sports Truck Series at the simulated Charlotte Motor Speedway, where we have a lap and a half left before we get stage 2 underway. And this is going to bring us to our Nerd TV Top 10 recap. TJ Bartell, where did he come from? Started 17th, was not in the picture there inside the top 5 with some strategy. It's going to temporarily put this guy in P1. So we're going to see now the third lead change this evening. How will the 75 fare? Well, we're going to find out here in just a lap of that Ford F-150. Lane Allen, another strategy call here, 14th to 2nd. Gonna be starting just on the outside here of the 75 of TJ Bartell. Alan Duranco, 26th to 3rd. So it looks like a lot of these guys that had pit stops probably in that lap 30 caution most likely have taken advantage of those set of tires there. Duranco's gonna be starting at 3rd. Curtis Vollmer, 30th to 4th, also playing that tire strategy. Justin Diltz in 5th, 24th to 5th right now. JP Burns starting in 6th. He started in 11th on that initial start there, so he's up 5 spots himself. And Colton Gum looks like the last guy to play the tire strategy. He's going to be restarting in 7th, initially starting in 32nd. This is really going to shake up the top 10 here. They're going to try to cycle through these trucks. And then 8th place, the person who won the stage, Mark Brannigan Jr. in the 85. Stephen Hollingsworth started 9th in the initial start. Going to be restarting in 9th as well on this one. And tonight's top 10 truck to start off stage 2, Cody McKinney in the 28. One name you don't see, Brody Hanna, restarting back in 24th place, had 13.7 seconds worth of damage to repair on that right-hand side of that truck due to some car contact, a little bit of a wall contact. Got all the fenders buffed out to maximize that truck speed here because we got a long stage number 2 underway. And Dustin, this restart's going to be crazy. Seeing the top 7 playing tire strategies, so the tires are at least, had 6 laps of green flag action on them. And then we got the really fast trucks behind them. So I'm expecting a lot of scattering, a lot of 2x2 racing, maybe some 3 wide to get through this field quickly. We're going to find out as the green flag flies for the stage number 2. The 75 gets a equal start with the 14 of Lane Allen here. And basically everybody, 81 spinning there with maybe some bumper contact there. No caution at the moment, but the 81 early spin out here.
Yeah, we're going to see if we can't try to get that on there. So, looks like it was a checkup on there. Made contact and then just slides. Ooh, man, hooked. Just enough to get hooked right there. That was unfortunate contact there for the 81. No caution out as it was off the racing surface. All the drivers are by. So unfortunate. He's definitely going to be hoping for a Roasted Gems coffee here to get himself caffeinated real fast.
Yeah, he's going to have to hope for one quick. And the 48 almost produced at 3rd place. Curtis Vollmer gets really loose underneath the 14 of Lane Allen. Really checked up, and now he's going to get basically fought by the 91 here of Justin Diltz as he kind of backs up before the turn 3 entrance there. Going to go single file with him off the exit of 4. And a lot of side-by-side action here, almost 3 wide coming through the quad over here. The top 2 have kind of separated about 6 or 7 truck links out.
Yeah, and Hollingsworth there in the 5 looking like he's wanting to try to push it 3 wide. He's putting his nose there, Jeremy. We talked about it. 3 wide's not going to work. You see Colton Gum get a little loose off that corner there, but gives a little bit more space. But I tell you what, Jeremy, I am really surprised right now. You talked about that tire strategy, and these drivers here, that their tires are just a number of laps older than a lot of the fresh tires behind them. I mean, they're laying down some blistering laps right now. I mean, and they're letting it hang out. I mean, look at the lead right now that TJ Bartell and Lane Allen have over the rest of the field right now. I mean, the top 4 have just broken away. I mean, and then you look at all the cars back behind, they're 2x2x2, 10 rows back.
I'm kind of curious to see what the 5 is going to do with Stephen Hollingsworth. He is now we got a 4th caution here presented by Roasted Gems Coffee. Turn 3, several trucks involved.
Oh.
Trying to get to the back to see what it was. Looks like the 21 and the 41. That's Shad Curran and the 21. 41 is Austin Gassion. 2 trucks at least are going to try to get back here and take a look and see exactly what happened here from the Nerd TV replay. Looks like it initially was the 41 gets turned, and by Brody Hanna and the 23
Sylvain
coming up through the
Jolly.
field.
Sylvain
And then-
Jolly gets a hard lick on that one as well, just out of nowhere, couldn't do it. But yeah, it looks like that right there might have been just a slight contact from the 23 of Brody Hanna. We're gonna go on to see if we can't try to get an onboard with Brody Hanna here.
Yeah, it's a tough call. We're going to get a couple angles from it. The 23 makes the charge to the bottom there to make the pass. The 41 did not recognize the pass effort there by Brody Hanna and just came down across the nose. So it's one of those things where the guy thought the space was there. The guy behind him was like, hey, I'm going to make this pass effort. He left the door wide open. So it depends on if you're a road guy or an oval guy. If you're the oval guy, you're like, hey, that's fair game. If you're the road guy, that's not your corner. So it's really up for discretion there.
Right. And oh, jeez.
Oh, man.
Chad Curran just trying to slow up for it. Didn't know what way it was going to go. He didn't know if the track was going to get cleared or not. Unfortunate break by the 41. And then contact again, just to add more insult to injury on that one. Jeremy, I would have to say with as fast as that happened, I don't think the 41 of Gachon expected or even knew that the 23 of Brody Hanna had that kind of speed and that kind of run coming in. The run that the 23 of Hanna had, we know he's got a hot rod underneath him. He was fastest in practice, took the pole. He, for most of that front stint there, had been out front leading. I don't think it wasn't any fault by the 23. It wasn't any fault by the 41. It just happened so fast that the 41 of Gachon just did not expect the 23 of Brody Hanna to be there that fast.
And you're 100% on that. No fault to each of those drivers, to me, to you. Hopefully a lot of the other guys, including the guys involved in that wreck, feel the same way. Literally, the door was opened. Brody went for it. 41 didn't recognize it. And they both went for the same real estate at the same time. With how fast things happen here and the speeds they carry 180 mile an hour into the corners, you make that split-second decision of, hey, I'm going to attack the corner, either if I'm going low or if I'm going underneath some guy. And you find it. You find it just like that. So unfortunate for both of those guys. 4 total trucks involved in tonight's 4th caution here. Man, that's huge there for some of these guys.
Yeah, and I don't know what was going on there with with Derek, the Derek Cat machine. He was kind of there, then not there. I don't even know if we're going to be able to get a feed on it. And then it just, he was off track, on track, and then he just pulled it down to the start-finish line. He just parked it. He got out, gave the peace sign, and walked to pit road, I think.
I didn't realize Josh Williams signed up for FTSR.
So,
what's he doing out there?
Right? But no, it's an unfortunate thing. But I mean, when you get into tracks like this, I mean, you got to expect that. I mean, it's bound to happen. It's unfortunate for drivers like Chad Curran and Sylvain Jolly, that they got pulled into that. They just did wrong trucks at the wrong place at the wrong time. But I mean, that's part of racing, Jeremy. I mean, as not only broadcasters, we also partake in racing as well. I mean, we've been in those situations, that things that are out of your control, that you have no control over, and you're at the whim of somebody, of an incident or an event that somebody else, is part of. That's just part of racing. It's a gamble. Half of racing is luck, the other half is skill, and the other half is just pure motivation. Yeah, I know that's a lot of halves.
You got to have a lot of things to do this, especially in the real life. But you're not wrong, though. Everything that you just said, you're not wrong. So, especially if you're going to put time into a open setup league like FTSR, you can't just show up and run, right? These guys have such awesome setups. So you got to have a lot of those halves to be able to compete here and do it well and cleanly. But sometimes things go, a little too much in your favor or not your favor, and that's how we have 4 cautions here so far tonight. Currently only on lap 53. I've scheduled 134, so about 80 laps to go left in this race, and we're going to get this thing wound up again. 75 is going to be on the bottom, 14 is going to be on the top. Same exact restart scenario as the last one. Curtis Vollmer in the 48. Let's see if he can not get so loose this time and maintain pace with the top 2 guys. Justin Dilton 91. really wanting to show what he's worth. But I'm like just before that wreck, Dustin, I was talking about the 5, and I was gonna be really curious to see how he was gonna be able to get through this other 4 guys. Essentially, his truck is fast, and it's one of the fastest ones in the front running ones that did not play the tire strategy. So if he can get through these top 4 with a timely manner, this 5 might be on a rail here for the long haul. But about to see the green flag fly one more time, 5th time tonight. There it is. It is out. The 75 gets a much better start. Help from the 48. Curtis Vollmer pushes TJ Bartel. Going to pass the 14, Elaine Allen, no problem. 48 wants to look low, does not do it. He's going to pass the 14 as well. And here comes the 5 of Hollingsworth.
Yeah, and you were talking about the 5 of Hollingsworth. He does. I mean, the guy has got a piece under him right now. He has to be patient. We've seen him try to nose and almost try to look at it 3 wide a couple times. That's not what you want to do at this track here. He's got to bide his time right now. He's doing that. You see the 48 right now of Vollmer takes the lead over the 75 of TJ Bartel. And right now you see the 5 trying to work, and right behind him you have the 85 of Brannigan trying to work his way back up as well. The 14 Elaine Allen still on the outside with Justin Diltz in tow behind the 14. Jeremy, this racing, this is some good shit right here.
Look at this. Everyone 2 by 2 all the way back, a lap and a half after the drop of the green flag. And right now the 5 of Hollingsworth and the 85 of Mr. Mark Brannigan Jr. going to be showcasing here, coming off of turn 4 and crossing the start and finish line there to take lap 56. They are now respectively 2nd and 3rd place. And man, this race, Dustin, it is phenomenal so far for the laps that we've been green flag. Heck of amount of side-by-side action all across the track. You can see down the back straightaway, everybody's still single file or double file rather for the most part.
Yeah, and these guys are doing this right now. So we restarted on 54. They're now working 3 laps of side-by-side like that. I mean, and these guys are full throttle right now. I mean, they are pushing it to the limits. You see the 5 of Hollingsworth right now. This is the best chance he's had on the inside of the 48 of newcomer Vollmer. Right now, trying to stick that inside. He's going to try to complete that pass. Still not 100% passed. Vollmer still has a half a truck length on the outside, side by side, going into turn 3 right now. Jeremy, this is a hell of a race right now for that lead as they're coming off turn 4.
5 was scored with that last lap by. That's 5 different leaders among 7 different lead changes so far. Stephen Hollingsworth holds the lead once again over the 48 just by a half a truck length. As the 85 now, Brannigan is trying to make that pass on Vollmer here, coming off of turn number 2, directly side by side as they head toward turn number 3. And he's just not giving up. Vollmer has put on a crazy amount of effort here to maintain Mark.
Oh, and on that outside too, and remember, he's on a different strategy, a little loose coming off there, but we have our 5th Roasted Gems coffee right now. As we are taking a look, it looks like it is going to involve... we had talked about it before, Jeremy, but I think it looks like it's going to involve Derek Cat, that Derek Cat machine.
I don't see where the caution came out. I think iRacing's marshalling admins are just, I don't know. He came off
right
a pit
there.
road and he stopped.
He stopped. He was off the racing surface,
yeah,
which is
next
weird.
To the grass.
Yeah, he was next to the grass, which is really weird. But that's literally the only thing that happened that would have brought anything out. It's very odd that iRacing would have thrown the caution.
Oh, wait, hold on. I found it. I'm sorry. I found it. The number 21, Shad Curran, tried making a pit road entrance. He made the call out, and he spun, and he plowed into the water barrels off the corner exit. So that, I don't know why that didn't pop up initially on our softwares, but the 21, heavy damage there to the front side of that truck. Had to call the tow truck. His night might be done tonight.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate for that elevated esports number 21 Martin Sports Machine. That's a very nice looking truck, but
Stupid
not
nice.
Yeah, stupid nice. Not the way that that Curran definitely wanted. As we're going to take a look at this. This is coming off turn 4. A little bit of a bobble. He gets it loose, tries to correct it, and aims it right for those water barrels. And that's a hard impact right there, Jeremy. That's power plants. Bad impact. That's going to hurt the motor, and that's why he is sitting out right now.
Remember, he was in that last caution too, that 4-truck pileup off of 3 and 4, and he nailed, I think, the 41 there of Austin Gassion, and so That's 2 times in a row he's been involved in this caution with direct nose impact. So if that power plant wasn't hurt enough, this is going to make matters worse, and the team has to go back to work to get that thing buffed out. He is now currently 4 laps down. We'll be about 6 or 7 minimal before this green flag. I don't know if he can get out in time, but huge there for the number 21.
Yeah, unfortunate event for that that number 21 and Chad Curran. Just the wrong place at the wrong time in a couple situations, and I'm sure that the damage from that first one, because we didn't see him have any handling issues prior to that pit road barrel incident that just happened. So I would be led to believe that the damage that was brought on from that last caution with the contact with the 41 of Gachon that probably didn't make the handling any better on that truck, which more than likely probably led to the ill handling effect that led to this most recent caution.
The amount of cautions that we're seeing tonight is a little bit more than what we're used to seeing at the full throttle. 5 cautions, but like I said in the pre-race, we have 25%, 1/4 of the field that has never seen the FTSR league action before. So we're getting used to some new drivers here, and that's typical when you bring a new mix. You bring in some more recipes to your really well cookbook, and you just got to change things up a little bit. Get used to some new spices that are there. So very common when you have a big mix of drivers up like this, but they'll get it sorted out, and FTSR always produces in the end some of the best racing that iRacing has to show for. So we'll get these things wound up again. This time it'll be around lap 62, as I think I see the 83 getting his lucky dog. I think that's Richard Tucker. So he goes around the pace car there. So I think we're going to award 83 Richard Tucker the Martin Sports #Get a Grip Lucky Dog Award. So he's going to get back around and get, I think, 12 laps down after that, as this truck has a lot of damage to still get repaired.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, there's a quarter of the field is new, but Jeremy, you say a quarter of the field, but almost half of the top 5 are those new drivers. I mean, we got Vollmer and Brannigan right now running 2nd and 3rd respectively out of series veterans Hollinsworth, McKinney, and TJ Bartel. So again, and really the cautions we've had, I mean, haven't been super terrible. I mean, it's just been product of very hard racing, but I mean, it hasn't been the quote unquote big one. I mean, it hasn't damaged, a crap ton of trucks. I mean, we still have a lot of drivers that are still competitive in racing action right now, even with 5 Roasted Gems caution flags.
Yeah, 27 on the lead lap right now. As we're half a lap away from getting this thing rewound up and gone. Now the 5 Hollingsworth has the open track. I think if you can get around the 48 of Curtis, who's done a pretty good job so far maintaining the top 3, him and the 85 are going to lead the charge, but don't forget that 28 of Cody McKinney, one of the fastest trucks as well. He's going to be restarting in 4th on the top. So
my eyes on that
for
85.
him to kind of contend.
That 85, he is hungry. I mean, hungry, but I mean, he's a smart hungry. He makes smart moves, and that's what he's been doing. But I tell you what, he's got a fast piece underneath him as well. He's been out front. He has led laps before. I tell you what, Jeremy, this race here is gearing up to be probably one of my favorites so far, and that counts through 2023 A. And so far, this is the season opener in B. This is definitely up there as we're getting ready to go green.
Here we go. I'm waiting for the 6th time to see this green flag fly this evening. And there it is. It is out. And it looks like the 48 gets a little bit better of a jump than the 5 did. I think the 48 beat Hollingsworth to the line. The 48 was scored that lap there. But directly side by side all the way through, almost in 3 wide, around 10th to 15th place. 48 not able to hold the 5 off of turn 2. Mr. Hollingsworth to own sole possession of the lead, but the 48 coming down for some side draft. The 5 tries to block it. Coming through turns 3, they're back to side by side, Dustin.
Yeah, that single file did not last, but just the backstretch, and that 48's trying it again. You see him, he's getting loose on that high side. Got to be careful. Those tires right now, those Goodyear rubbers are screaming at him, saying, hold on, just give me a second. And look who's right behind him, the 28 of Cody McKinney, putting his nose on the inside right now as the 5 of Hollingsworth finally completely clears the 48 to take sole possession of the lead. And right now, 48 is under attack from the 28 of Cody McKinney.
85 and Brannigan just don't have the start that he wanted to allow the 28 to get around him. And now if the 28 can make his way around the 48, the 28 and the 5 here are going to be producing a really good race here for the lead spot. But right behind them, everybody else single file through maybe 10th or 11th place, where we find Brody Hanna still making the charge up through the field. Currently sitting in 14th, I think 13th now. Now he's underneath the 81 to try to regain, I think 12th or 13th right now.
Yeah, I tell you what, this this racing, Jeremy. I mean, these guys are producing some fantastic racing here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. One driver that we haven't made mention that much right now, just seems like he has been fighting his way forward, is the 19 of Richie Coy right now, and that Tabasco throwback esque truck right now. He has cracked the top 10, but Jeremy, he's been working at it quite a bit, and just ahead of him, Tommy Schaefer, who started P2, it fell all the way back, had a little bit of damage, fell all the way back after the start of the race. I mean, he was pushing, almost falling outside the top 20, now finds himself back in the top 10, running P9. And the 16, I tell you what, I expect great things out of this driver, Robert Malikian. He has been putting on a good show week in and week out. He had that heartbreaker where he almost had that victory and had that wall tag. I mean, this guy, he's been close and been getting closer and closer. Always good to see him running in the top 10.
100% there. And that 19, I think he had two different throwbacks in mind for Darlington, and I think this is his secondary skin. We usually don't see him in a throwback, but seeing it 2 weeks in a row, right fresh off of Darlington 2 weeks ago, that's probably just a secondary option. But that truck also looks really good. I don't know about the white on white with the number in the base there, but outside of that, that's just me and the Nerd Wraps designer kind of pointing some things out. But going to the 16, Robert Malikian, I'm with you. I think he continues to get better and better as he runs more races here at FTSR. I think he's going to be a top 5 contender, maybe top 10 at minimum each week in and week out. So he's got 2023B fresh on his mind. Maybe he can get that done.
Yeah. Justin Dilton, that 91, good to see him right now. He is still in that top 10. Again, he's one of the drivers that was on that different tire model strategy that was going on, but he's still holding strong in that top 10, so always good to see him running well. Ryan Chapman, if you guys remember, he was part of that. He had that one Roasted Gems caution come out where he had just a little bit of contact checking up for the 9. The 81 kind of tagged him, and he had that spin. Put him way further back, but he has worked his way up. He's just outside that top 10 right now, Jeremy, looking to try to pounce. And I must say, in a brand new paint scheme that's different from 2023A, and I got to tell you, it's not just the Martin Sports on the hood, but black and white, I think, suits that number 27, especially with that green number just jumping out off that side.
I love high contrast paint schemes, or anything high contrast, right? So when you get white and black, that's your ultimate contrast level. And if you can do it right, it looks so good. And then the splash of green that's chromed out on that thing, I think a little contact there. Looks like from maybe the 29 of Tommy Schaefer. I saw some tire smoke there off the wall for turn 2. Actually, that would have been the 75. Sorry, of TJ Bartell, and the 85 Mark Brannigan. One of those guys made that contact. Didn't look like it slowed him down, but just to reiterate, the 27 scheme is on point. One of my favorites so far for the scheme design changes from last season to this season.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. And as we were kind of going through and showcasing, because here at Nerd TV, we love to showcase all the drivers. And even though there's a lot going on and we're not able to showcase every driver in every race, we do throughout the season try to get by and try to give everybody some screen time, because that's what we're here for and that's what we love doing. While we were doing that, we had a lead change. At 28 of Cody McKinney powered himself straight up to the front, was able to get around the 5 of Hollinsworth, and now holds about a 1 to 1.5 truck length lead over the 5 of Hollinsworth, with the 48 of Vollmer now running P3. And then you got Brannigan in that 85, P4, and Bartell, P5. That is your top 5 runner right now, Jeremy.
Top 5 have really kind of separated themselves from everybody else, haven't they? Back through even like 10th place, there's a huge gap between, it looks like maybe Brody Hanna and the next guy behind him, Marshall Johnson. Actually, no, I'm going to take that back. Behind the number 9 of Marshall Johnson, there's a big gap. We're going to find the 00, or Man, these new paint schemes throwing me at the 00 Tyler Brown. You got the 81. I got so much learning to do here. Got Tyler Granat here and the 99 JP Burns. Those guys are directly on each other. Then yeah, that huge gap between them and the 9 truck. So a couple of different packs here. Charlotte isn't a super speedway type track, but there is a lot of draft that's produced from these high drag trucks. So doesn't totally surprise me on that notion, but as the tire wear sets in, this is very common for a normal 1.5 mile track to see the separation between the fast setups, the slow setups, and all the tire wears. We saw 29 and Tommy Schaefer do the same thing, but before stage break, he was up in the front and all of a sudden dropped like a rock because that truck just was ill handling and killed the tires before the stage end.
Oh, absolutely. So, I mean, that's one thing. Again, these setups, a lot of them are geared towards different things. I do want to make mention, Jeremy. You want to talk about paint jobs that are on point. That 99 JP Burns and that elevated esports Martin sports truck. You know me, I love the bright colors like that. I mean, they just jump out. That is an excellent looking machine as well. I do want to give a little bit of shout out. Just that little bit of touch of chrome on that 99. Very well done.
Chrome on the roof and on the left side. I think the 99 on the right's kind of done for. But just a little foreseeing the future here, Dustin. That 99, that purple and blue, just that's my idea for, you know, that future skin I have on Sundays, by the way. But enough of that. A few spots ahead of them. Okay. They're starting to really pick up with the 91, the 00, and the 9. The 00 and the 91 have caught the 9. That little gap that was there a few laps ago as he raced. So these guys run the long run game here, trying to make up some space or some positions now.
Actually, I don't know. I honestly think that some of those drivers have worked their way back to that pack. If you remember, just a number of laps ago, the 91 at Dilts was running P10. He's now running P15, so he's dropped 5 positions just in the last 5 laps or so. So he's working his way back. It looks like the 9's working his way back. Brody Hanna, who again had to work his way from the back, working up towards the front after getting that damage repaired. Looks like he's kind of stalemated a little bit for the time being in that 12th position right now being hunted down by the 9 of Johnson, and the 00 of Brown is now Brown clears the 9, takes P13, and now sets his sights on that 23.
And these laps are about 60 laps shy of the finish. We're going to kick it over to a picture-in-picture commercial break. Be back with you guys after a few messages.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And back to full screen coverage here, the Martin Sports Truck Series, as we're on lap 87 here of scheduled 134, and just a lap ago on your screen, the 29 of Tommy Schaefer mowed the grass there through the quad oval, got a little loose off of turn 4, and when I say little, I mean a lot. And then this is all concrete texture, asphalt texture, until you get to about right here where it's grass, because of how they had the roval set up on this track. But nice job from the 29 of Tommy Schaefer to not lose it. How's a hell of a slide going into there. They kept it straight even over the bumps through the turtles and whatnot through the infield, and he lost a few spots but kept it going straight, which remains green flag here in Dustin. There is some spacing around a lot of these guys on the field, but some of these trucks are like, I think there's a group that's right at the end at the exit of turn 2. There's a lot of 2x2 action going on.
Yeah, I'm really surprised at the amount of spacing right now that's going on. These drivers have really spaced it out quite a bit right now, and that racing, this is a pack that we have seen that's been racing for a while, and that's the 14 of Lane Allen. You have the 00 of Tyler Brown. You got Johnson in the 9, Duranko in the 2. So, I mean, these drivers here have been kind of duking it out now, Jeremy, for about the last 10 laps. It's been very close, and then further ahead, I mean, you see that group right there. Right at the tail ends, the 75 of Bartel. You got the 85 of Brannigan, the 16 of Robert Mielicki, and we were just talking about him, and right now he's moved himself up into the top 3, Jeremy.
Yeah, I'm going to jump to the chats here. Derek Catt, the guy who looked like Josh Williams there on the front stretch, blinked out essentially. He had some internet connection or some type of connection that was not happy with the iRacing service. And he did blink out, and he's on the chats now. So I guess Mr. Derek Catt, his night is completely done for this evening. But welcome to the chats, man. Feel free to join us. We love to do the shout-outs every time we see someone pop in. But this race is, still continuing to be spaced out. But what packs there are, it is pretty good. And this one with the 00 and the 14, Lane Allen, Tyler Brown, it is not letting up. I think this is probably the most exciting race so far around this track on lap 91.
Oh, 100%. And I have to say, Derek, unfortunate event on the blink out, even though the Williams reference I thought was very classy. I thought I got a kick out of that one there. But thanks for the subscribe as well, subscribing to Nerditudes, so that way you can keep track of all the racing action that's going on. Oh my goodness, the 5 of Hollinsworth on those fresh tires just split the 81 and the 2. Like it was just like cutting bread. So, but again, what Derek is talking about is something that drivers in real life don't have to worry about. I mean, we have mechanical failures as well. They're just a different type of mechanical failure. Our mechanical failure is, the internet blinked out, or just lost connectivity, which means our cars don't show up to everybody else and we just disconnect from the server and we don't get a chance to come back in. So we have the same mechanical situation and problems that plague us, but just in a different way.
Yeah, if you're blanking out in real life, I think you found the glitch, which would, talk the simulation comment for the real life stuff. But I don't think that's going to happen. And you mentioned the 5 splitting the gaps around everyone. He came down pit road during our commercial break. And so he is one of very few guys who has fresh set of tires and just take complete advantage of it. But now you're seeing the number 9 there of Gaston. He's coming down pit road. The number 8 of Colby Mice came down pit road. You're seeing it right there. Hits his mark perfectly. TJ Bartel right in front of him in the 75. He's also on pit road, so it looks like a handful of these guys have started their official green flag stops, but that's led by the number 5 of Hollingsworth, who came down about 6 or 7 laps ago, and He came out a lap down, but he is making up all the ground. The question is, can he sustain this when everyone makes their pit cycles?
Yeah, and that's the thing, you know, and it's so hard when drivers do this. And I speak from experience, Jeremy, because it's probably one of my biggest Achilles heels is when you come out of the pits like that with fresh tires and everybody else is on worn tires, you feel like Superman. You just, I mean, you're slinging it, you're flinging it all the way around. It's sticking, you're passing them like they're sitting still, and you have a tendency to overdrive the car, or in this case, truck, because of that feeling of that Superman feeling. That's what we'll call it, the Superman feeling. And what'll happen is you're gonna burn the stuff too fast if you're not aware of what's happening. So when these leaders come in, like you seen Richie Coy right there was diving in right now, when they have fresh tires, they're going to come out and they're going to be fast as well. But if you burn your stuff up too much, you're not going to have anything for them at the end. And we're rounding it down now, Jeremy. We got 40 laps left. This is where you got to start thinking that long-term, you know, last push ditch effort to the end.
You just had a lot of trucks come down pit road too. The 48, Curtis Vollmer, the 16 of Malikian, the 27 Chapman, the 14 Elaine Allen, the number 2 of Duranco. You highlighted the 19 of Richie Coy. It's about 5 or 6
Schaefer's
trucks down pit road that last time. This time on the front stretch, it looks like Joseph McKinney, the 18, he's down with a couple others there. Tommy Schaefer, the 29, he's making his pit stop. So probably about 2/3 of the field has made their way to see their crew, probably for the final time, unless there's one last caution here. But right now, Cody McKean, the 28, is your race leader, and he is coming down pit road to give up the race lead to Mark Brannigan Jr. As he does pass him, it's going to cause another lead change here. Let's see if the 28 can hit a stop. It's just fine.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, with Richie Coy and a lot of the drivers that were running behind him, I did not see it being too long before the 28 of Cody McKinney decided he was going to go ahead and drop down again, because fresh tires out on that track, for every lap that you stay out with drivers that have fresh tires, you are losing a lot of ground there. So right now, the 85 of Brannigan, he needs to start looking and thinking that picture of he needs to hit that pit road, and he needs to do it now, because otherwise, when he hits pit road, it doesn't matter how clean, how fast of a stop you get in on pit road and back off again. That's not where he's losing the time. He's losing the time right now staying out on the track with all the other drivers with fresh tires.
Yeah, 100%. You saw the 28 there just very briefly on the apron exiting pit road. So it's going to put the 28 a lap and a half down over the 85 of Brannigan, which him, the 81 of Granat, the 23 of Hannah, the number 4 of Terrell, the number 52 of Connor LaFrance, and a few others have yet to make their pit stop for the final time, as the race leader, Mark, hitting lap 100, 35 laps to go in this event. At what point do you come down?
Yeah, and right now, I mean, right there, the pit stop strategy stint length, the 57 laps on that set of tires for the 85 of Brannigan, Granat 57 laps as well. So these drivers, they need to be looking at coming down pit road at this point, and it looks like that 85 is slowing down. He is going to be coming down pit road now. He must be watching our broadcast there and have that on the ear. Here comes the 81 of Granat as well. They're both hitting pit road. And we're going to see exactly how far and where this is going to stack them up. Remember, the 28 was about a lap and a half down when he come in for his pits.
85 and 81, those are teammates too, so they're playing the teamwork game. Also the 52 of Connor LaFrance, he's on pit road too, so the 3 teammates roughly in the same position on the track, which they've 3 been pretty close to each other for the most part all race long, doing their final stops here as a team. Let's see what they do. The 17, Steve Loomis, he's calling pit road. He's going to give up 4th place as well. But right now, Brody Hanna recycles temporarily as your race leader.
Yeah, and look at this track map presented by iRacing iFlag, Jeremy. The longer we have green flag racing, and as what's going on right now and cycling through green flag pit stops, you take a look. I mean, there's racing action going on all around this track. You have a mixture of cars that are fighting to get back on the lead lap, ones that are fighting to stay on the lead lap. You got drivers that are leading the race right now that are, you know, pushing the limit of their tires and their equipment. There's action everywhere right now.
There really is. They got Of course, you got the fresh tires. It's now, we've seen about 15 laps go by where we've seen the first and the last set of pit stops happen. Ooh, 23 hand. I don't know if that was a loose or a break or a block of some kind, but nice job of not causing wreck regardless there. The 23 is falling back there pretty quick. He's one of the very few trucks that are not on a fresh set of Goodyear tires. You see the 4 Bobby Terrell. That's going to be a teammate of Brody Hanna's there from Fury Motorsports. He's going to make his pit stop. You see the telemetry 47.46. Hopefully that's not correct because that's a couple mile an hour over. And well, actually, you know what? They get the 5 mile buffer. I'm sorry. So that means the 4 is going a little easy through pit road. I forget they get the 5 mile an hour buffer. So 50 mile an hour is the limit. He's going to go easy. He's into the box 3, 2, 1. A little bit slow on the speed there. So you got to play that game. You got to make sure your speed is at point because it's so competitive in this league. And there's your race leader, 23, making the pit stop. It's Stephen Hollingsworth will recycled as your race leader.
Yeah, you seen the pit road entry difference between teammates Terrell and Hanna right now. Terrell had more of a conservative. Brody had more of a drastic in your face, taking it down to the last inch before he had it down to speed. But that's what makes or break. That's how you save time on pit road. But right now, we were talking about it, and you had mentioned it, the 5 of Hollingsworth regains your lead right now, Jeremy. But the question is, we're working lap 105 of 134, so 29 laps left in this race. How long can he keep this going right now? I mean, he's got a 4-second gap, but that lead is shrinking, Jeremy. With every lap that goes by, it is shrinking.
You might have heard me laugh there, but if you look at second place, the guy who I said in the pre-race is your long-run hero that we didn't talk about him much. And where did he come? Mr. Richie Coy, your 2023 A points champion. Second place. I mean, he's got Tony McKinney directly on his bumper here. But the 19 hasn't been up in the top 5 all race long. Where did he come from? But the 20 looks like he clearly has a little bit faster truck here, a little bit of fresher tires. He's going to go around the 19, no problem. 19 playing that early pit stop strategy to his favor. It's still in a better position. He's got tons of space behind him. So I think at the end of the day, if it stays green, 19 is going to be a winner in this strategy call here.
Yeah, and I mean, it's again, with the amount of difference right now in tires, there is no scenario right now that the 5 of Hollingsworth retains this race lead. I will call it right now. There is no scenario that he will retain it, because even if a caution comes out and he tries to do it, these fresher tires are going to have the advantage on that restart. And you look right now, just in 3 laps, the 5 of Hollingsworth had a 4-second lead. Now the 28 of McKinney and the 19 of Coy now have that 4-second lead down to 1.3 seconds. And Jeremy, by the time they get off of turn 2, it's going to be at a second or less.
Yeah, he's dropping back real quick. He will not be your race winner unless something drastically changes in this scenario right now. Second a lap, just about. Cody McKinney will be there in 2 laps at this rate. And Richie's got a little bit older tires, not by much, but just a little bit. So, and these 3 guys right now are, 4.5 seconds ahead of everybody else behind them. So these 2, the 20 and the 19, are going to finish first and second as this race concludes on a green flag. If it does so, which right now we have 25 laps remaining in this Charlotte 200. It's just, how far does the 5 fall back? That was a question he proposed a few laps ago. How long does it maintain? He did pit probably 6 or 7 laps prior to everybody else. So you're seeing the huge difference between what 6, 7, 8, 9 laps of tire wear difference looks like, which at a really fast track like Charlotte. No, there's the caution. Never mind that conversation. The 5 has got the saving grace. He's going to be starting this thing back in second potentially. It looks like the 52 in front of him got some engine damage there.
Yeah, and again, I mean, this helps out, but again, about the only way it's going to help, that the other drivers have the tire. They have the better tires right now, so the only way that you're going to be able to compete is you're going to have to come down, and if you have another set of tires down pit road and change it out, but bad thing is that's going to put you way back. So, I mean, you got to gamble on it. Again, that's even if these drivers, and in this case, the 5 of Hollingsworth, has another set of tires down pit road.
Yeah, we have no idea. They have 3 sets of tires to work with, right? So who knows? This is the 6th caution here, as we're going to go to Nerd TV to take a look at the incident here. 52 just got wicked tight off of turn 4, hit the outside wall really hard right in front of Sherwood. Sherwood almost cleared him, but the 52 bounced off the wall and barely tagged the right rear quarter panel, which sent the 33 directly into the outside wall, nose first. As you can get another angle of that, there you see the tail end of it. But as you're going to back it up and go normal speed here, hits the wall, gets loose, spins out, wicked little sideways action. The 33 just hooks the right corner to the outside wall.
Yeah, that was hard impact too. Is that second impact that really got it? That right there, you see Bobby Terrell take a base of action on that one there. What a lick of driving by the 4 to sit here and split the 52 and 33 respectively on that one. That's I was not expecting that coming through, but you're going to see it on board of the 4 right now. He's just going to sit here. You see the 52, there's a 33, right on by. Adios. Keeps it off the wall. Good bit of driving right there by the 4.
Excellent heads-up driving there. But as we're gonna take it back to live, I look at the top 2 here. 2 guys that maybe don't have tires left. 85, Mark Brannigan, and the 00, Tyler Brown. They're gonna be restarting this thing first and second with Cody McKinney on fresh set of tires right behind them. So pray for the 85 and the 00 because they got a little handful of a race situation going on for them. We're going to be restarting right around lap 20 or at 20 laps to go. These guys, these are going to get eaten up so quick. So the passing to split these guys and to get around them as best they can is going to be quite the sight to see here.
Yeah, well, I think the only thing that's going to save the 85 right now, I don't know about the 00 of Tyler Brown. I don't know about him, but I do know, if you recall, the 85 and that entire team, that new team to FTSR, they were among the last ones to pit under green flag conditions. So before this caution happened, they literally had the freshest tires on the track. And that green flag pit stop concluded not very many laps ago prior to this caution coming out. So that's about the only saving grace that they may have. Their tires may just now be right at that, that prime grip level right now where the temperature is good, the pressures are good. I mean, it's perfect. They may be right at that ripping level, ready to rip this track up. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out.
Talk about grip levels, and we got a lap left before we're going to take this thing back to green flag for the 7th time this evening. I want to quickly go over the next few weeks on the schedule, if you could bring that stat up for us. You have Worldwide Technology Raceway, and then you have Iowa, and they take a week off and then head to Nashville Super Speedway, which is that really tight, basically a 1.5 mile track, but really tight radius corners. Those 3 tracks are really daunting when it comes to grip and saving your tires. So after tonight, some short track action headed your way, mid to short track. I count Iowa as a short track. Gateway, it drives like a short track, so I count it as one. In Nashville, I don't know why they even call it Super Speedway, but the next few races on the truck schedule here for Martin Sports, it's going to be a pretty exciting set of races here as we get to the mid to short tracks here. But these guys, Dustin, they're all bundled back up here, and we're going to see just how the 85 can restart this thing with 20 laps to go.
Yeah, and this restart is going to be key. It is going to be paramount that 85 gets the best, and I cannot stress that enough, the best restart of his FTSR career, which is one race because this is his debut with his team, the other 3 drivers of his team. But I mean, it's got to be on point. No tire spin. He's got to rip it up through those gears. He's got to get those rip'ems, as Scott Martin from Martin Sports would so greatly put it, those RPMs or rip'ems. He's got to get those things up, and they got to jam it. I mean, because right now he's got a hungry Cody McKinney with fresh tires behind him. Behind him, Richie Coy, the 5 of Hollingsworth. These drivers are ready and raring to go right now. The only advantage he has is his tires, I think, might be at that prime level. The other drivers, they're going to have to sit here and put a couple laps on it before then. Pace car is in. We're getting ready to go green flag.
I love when you make an acronym, an actual word there. Rip'ems. I'm gonna have to rip that from Scott there. But green flag is out here. Underway. The 85 and the 00 have a clean restart. They actually match each other quite nicely, directly side by side, coming through turn 1 now. Oh, the 75 of Bartel gets loose, locks it down. We stay green. Goes to the inside, hits the wall there at the very last moment, but no caution flag for the 75. He calls the tow truck. His night's probably going to be done there as we're going to kick it over to see exactly what happened. And there's that just slide that it looked like it went forever, Dustin.
It did. I mean, that was one of those forever slides as he goes in. And like I said, he went in, he let off. Man, that thing snapped hard. For being loose. He tried to turn it, tried to correct it, and it just kept going and kept going. Unfortunate event and break for that 75 machine.
Sorry to cut you off. The big wreck here. The 19 of Richie Coy, the 5 of Stephen Hollingsworth. They're going to bring off the 7th caution presented by Roasted Gems Coffee. Coming off the backstretch, 3 wide with the 00, the 5, and the 19. And 2 trucks at least. I'm going to see if there's anybody else involved in that. But coming off the corner, 3 wide. We're late in the going here where things are getting hot. Huge wreck there from 2 of the fastest trucks on the track. And the 16 of Robert Malikian gets flipped over late in this wreck as you're going to see the 19 nose the inside wall. You're going to see Malikian come into the picture here momentarily. At least I think. Actually, it would have happened in front of him at this point. But the 16 flipped over. About 4 trucks involved in this one.
Yeah, that was a tough break on that one there. And Jeremy, we said it prior. I mean, we said it. 3 wide does not work here. When you're trying to do it, you see right there, almost a 3 wide situation. And then you talked about Milikian there. Oh, geez, hard contact with the 5. Man, this, Jeremy, this guy cannot catch a break. I mean, even when he's running good, something like this happens. It keeps going. I am going to dub Robert Milikian the Heartbreak Kid right now. Because he keeps having a hard time. But I tell you what, I am going to give him style points on that because he sat here and did a barrel roll, rolled it, landed back on his wheels, and he kept going.
You ain't going to steal that from Shawn Michaels, are you?
At this point, you know what? I think it's more deserving to go with Robert Malikian as the Heartbreak Kid right now. You can't argue with me on that one. I mean, it's that one there. He was just at the wrong place at the wrong time again, and this one here takes his truck potentially out of contention for anything on that one. That was a hard hit. That was a very, very hard hit.
In this moment of time, I guess I'll give it to you. Yeah, he was well within the top 10 and just completely innocent bystander. Get involved in that one. And that was just hard racing. It looked like the 5 shifted down a little bit, not maybe expecting the 00 to run so wide off the corner exit. And then the 990 on board off the nose of Malikian. That's pretty impressive. I think he maintained above 80 to 100 miles an hour after he landed and kept it going straight. So I wonder what kind of repairs the team had to do to that truck to get this thing going. But all in all, visually on the iRacing service, not too much damage shown on that truck.
Oh, geez, man. And then did a little 50-50 nose grind there. Kept her going, but you know he's going to be on pit road for a while. I mean, that's a tough break for the 16 crew. As he's coming back down pit road again, or leaving pit road rather, trying to make as much as what he can out of this situation, but tough break for the 16 crew, tough break for the 19 as well, and the 5. We know that both of those drivers had some fast hot rods, but Jeremy, that shakes it up. 16 laps to go. You got the 85 of Brannigan right now. He's leading the way. 28 of Cody McKinney is now going to be starting on that outside. The 00 of Tyler Brown is now going to be on that inside row, second row. Again, I said that the 85 needed to have on the last restart, needed to have the best restart of his career, his FTSR career. Guess what? Take 2. It's going to have to happen again because I can tell you right now, the 28, if the 85 falters on this restart, the 28's going to pounce.
Yeah, 100%. He has proven that he has been top 3 fastest drivers all night long. Started in 4th, quickly made his way up to 2nd, contended with Brody. After the first caution, he made the pass. He's been up in the front handful of laps minimal, and he's got a little bit better tires in this 85. So if we can get more than 5 laps under this next green flag stint, this 28 might be the guy to watch for us, claiming the checker flag to open up 2023B. But the 85, he's been so strong. I think on these cold tires, he's gonna have a solid chance to compete. It's got to keep the 28 out of the racing line, take the air off the nose of that truck, and just kind of play half defense, half offense, and you might be able to compete with this Cody McKinney machine.
Yeah, and I mean that's what he's going to have to. I mean the 85 of Brannigan is going to have to play offense and defense both. He's going to have to. He's going to have to. I mean he's going to have to push it, keep that truck out there, and he's going to have to play defense. He might have to put that truck in a line that may not be the fastest for him, but maybe one that is going to slow up the 28 of McKinney. No matter how, I mean, I agree with you. I think the 85 has a solid chance right now at bringing home the victory in tonight's race. If not, he's easily a solid top 3 podium truck right now. Even with the drivers behind him, I mean, he's had a strong truck. It's just, how are the cards going to play? I mean, how is it going to work out? So we'll just have to find out.
Yeah, we're going to find out. Derek Cat on the chat saying Kobe Mice is moving up a few spots. He was involved in a few cautions ago, and that truck is cleaned up and looking pretty good. He has picked up a couple spots, and right now he's going to be restarting this thing at 11th on the inside there of the 91 of Justin Diltz. Let's see what he can do. We'll keep an eye on that machine here as we're going to get this restart with 14 laps to go, waiting for the pace car to pull down. Mark Brannigan riding the back bumper of that pace car, giving a little Tony Stewart treatment there. Waiting for the green flag to come out. A little bit of an extra lead. I don't know if the admins are going to like that, but either the 28 backed up or the 85 took off. But either way, 85 clears the 28. It looks like the 28 just did not go. Tyler Brown is also going to make this pass effort here coming through turn 1. But the 28 so strong here with the fresher set of tires. Going to quickly eat up the 00 in his efforts there. Now he's got his eyes set on the 85.
Yeah, I don't know if the 28 just had a very conservative restart on that or what was going on, but he's not conservative right now. That 28 of McKinney now went from the high side, dove it down to the low side. He's now side by side with the 85. These two are racing, crossing the line, score that lead lap to the 28 of McKinney. As they are side by side, finally clears the 85 completely. 85 pulls down in line right behind. Now is starting to fall back.
Here we go. Big wreck. 48. All 4 wheels off the ground in front of the 29 of Tommy Schaefer. The 14 into the wall.
Solari, the 11.
Bronco. Multiple trucks involved in the 85. Put the block on the 48 in the middle of 1 and 2. Huge check up there by the 48, and it really upset that truck. Sent him loose all the way up into the outside wall. And just got airborne, hit the 9. So I think about 5 or 6 trucks involved.
Tough break right now for all the trucks that are involved. Again, we're coming down to the last bit of racing right now. You know, everybody's trying to bid for everything. And that's after it had started. You see the 14 in there. You see the 2 of Duranco hard hit. Solari hard hit. Schaefer involved in that one as well. Ooh. The 5 of Hollinsworth sits here and does some evasive maneuvers. Malikian back there, he's just slowing down, just letting the wreckage and carnage happen. He goes, I'll sit here and gain it back up there. My question is I want to ride on board with Meese right now. I don't know. I think he might have made it through there without any contact. Yeah, he dove it all the way down to the bottom, ended up coming back up. A lot of trucks took the evasive maneuver down there and followed suit with the 8. So, again, excellent job there. Tough break for a lot of these drivers, though, Jeremy.
In 91 of Justin Dillis, I'm trying to find out if he made some contact. That was so close. I don't think he maybe just did a little bit. Yeah, a little contact there in his right front. And they're trying to avoid the 48, who was all 4 wheels, just catching some hang time there. And right now you can't see it from this angle on the left-hand side, but there's a little bit of right front fender issue, and the hood's pushed up slightly. Not bad, though. Not bad considering that contact he made there after he made that initial bump there. As you watch the 22, the 11, 14, they go around after he gets around them. A lot of guys got extremely lucky to avoid that one, because that one could have been huge.
That was a good bit of driving. I'm going to give Dilt some credit on that one, too. That was a good bit of driving, good heads up to just kick it down to the inside there and not go down too far to make a bigger wreck happen with all the other trucks. So good heads up driving by the 91 of Dilt's.
Yeah, really overall, just excellent job there. And we're going to get these things stacked up once again, Dustin, here in a couple laps. As they get to the line this time, it'll be 10 laps to go. We're probably going to get the restart around lap 7 or 7 or 8 laps to go here. But Cody McKinney is just so strong, got around the 85 with no hesitation. I think the 80 or 28 is going to be setting sail here because everybody else behind them really doesn't have the speed up until basically he gets to number 4, maybe a Bobby Terrell. I don't know. It's so tough. A lot of these other guys have damage or they pitted with older set of tires. The number 2, Duranko, I think he was a part of that last incident there. It's just, I think the 28's basically got this thing set up for success on his team.
Yeah, and I mean, he really does. I mean, all the cards are playing in his favor right now. He's got the fresher tires over the 85 of Brannigan. That's playing in his favor. A lot of damaged trucks back behind. I mean, you've seen that shot that we just left. A lot of these trucks have, banged in fenders, spoilers dented in, missing sheet metal. So, I mean, a lot of the faster trucks, are no longer in the picture right now. I mean, Brody Hanna's another one. He's been stuck back in traffic, has not been able to regain from trying to get the damage fixed from earlier in the race, right there at the end of the first stage. So I agree. Right now, all the cards are laying in favor of the 28 and McKinney. I mean, this right now is his race to lose, but he's got to be careful because one slip up, no matter how small it looks like it might be, it could set up for Brannigan, Brown, Grenett. I mean, any of these drivers here to try to capitalize.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun to watch. Not first place, but second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. All these guys that's a toss-up. These guys have not been in the front for the most part, minus the 85. So I think maybe the 85 can lock down second place, but third on back especially. This is going to be a real fun one. They're all damaged. It looks like these trucks just got done running at Bristol. Almost, I think 90+% of the field has some type of damage other than your race leader right now, and maybe the 85. So as this thing goes back to green, watch for this mid-pack race. It is going to be just an excellent race to the finish.
Yeah, and it really is. And again, it's because a lot of these mid-pack trucks, I mean, they all have pretty equal amount of damage right now. And you're right. I mean, it does. It looks like a race just got done getting concluded at Thunder Valley at Bristol. So this is going to get very interesting very fast.
Have a half a lap left before we're going to see the green flag drop. That's going to take it on lap 127. It'll be 8 laps to go. Cody's got this wing all set up. Just don't have that tire spin, right? And you're set there. I am really curious to see who's going to come through the field late. The 23 Hanna's trying to make some momentum, get some passes going. He's got some damaged trucks in front of him to make up some of his spots lost as he continues to try to trek through this field. Basically, since the conclusion of the stage break and he got that damage fix, he's just been trying to work his way and just cannot have success doing so. A lot of these guys with damage, there's going to be a lot of tight trucks out there, a couple more loose ones. The 48's been loose this whole time. We've seen a couple other trucks as well with some ill handling situations. The pace car is going to dip down right now onto pit road, presumably for the last time here. This is going to be a really exciting 8 laps here to conclude the seasoning opener at Charlotte. Green flag is out and underway at the end of the restart zone. The 85 is going to do all he can here. Matches the speed of the 28 coming through turn number 1 directly side by side. A little bit of a check up there with the 29. And it looks like the guy right below him couldn't catch him at the moment. It's going to cause a 6 or 7 truck separation here for the race lead.
Yeah, and again, that little bit of separation. 3, 4 wide going down the backstretch. Oh, my, this. We said it was going to get wild, Jeremy, and that's exactly what it's doing. Here it is. I tell you what, I have not seen 4 wide at Charlotte down the backstretch in a hot minute now. And these drivers here, contact between teammates. Oh, Solari trying to save it, still wheeling it, still jumping it, still wheeling it, brings it back up, keeps it off. What a bit of driving by the 11 of Solari.
Man, just a little aggressive move there by the 23. Gets to the 11, and 11 did not realize that was going to happen, but he kept it straight. Thankfully, there's a lot of asphalt texture down there in the tri-oval section, or quad oval rather. Keeps the 11 going straight, but we stay green flag. Top 2 spacing out like I thought, but 3rd through 5th looks like that race is picking up quite well.
Oh, yeah, the 81 right now of Grenett now holding that 3rd spot. The 00 of Tyler Brown right now in 4th, but getting a lot of pressure from the 91 of Dilts. Dilts coming on strong here late in this run. He is locked into that top 5 right now, but he's wanting to try to pick off as much as what he can, giving that 00 of Brown everything he can. And JP Burns in that 99, where did he come from? He had been running back there about 10th to 15th place about most of this race. He's now trying to crack that top 5. And the 9 of Marshall Johnson right now, still trying to make his way up side by side with the 99 of JP Burns.
5 laps to go here. The 91 of Dilts is all over the map, but did not hit the wall. Excellent driving there to keep that truck going straight. That's going to break up the 4 trucks that were side by side momentarily here. Coming through 3 and 4 to 4 laps to go. Oh, the 9 just continue to push on corner exit like he's done all race long. Somehow seems to carry the momentum though. But the 91 of Dilt's going to go back to the top side of the 9.
Yeah, top side seems to be working for Dilts there. Probably better to try to run it up there, especially as loose as what he got going through this set of corners on the last lap. Still gets a little loose coming off, but maintains speed. Jeremy, this race in here is where it's at. Like you said, the front right now is a little different than what it was. The 81 of Grenett got by the 85 of Brannigan now, so second place has changed. The 81 trying to chase down the 28 of McKinney. 3 laps to go as the 28 crosses the line this time.
Ryan Chapman, the 27, also making some gains here as he's caught the 99 of JP Burns and the number 9 of Austin. But he's just checked up there. There's so much congestion in front of him. He has to back up the 00. Tyler Brown gets loose. It really sends Austin back. Now behind the 27 of Chapman, who gets a free pass there. Now he's got the 99 and the 00 to try to worry about as he's trying to pick off through 3 laps to go.
Oh, and he's almost looked like he wanted to push it 3 wide, got by the 00. Now trying to work the inside of the 99. He's trying to crack the top 5 as we got 2 laps to go, working 2 laps to go. 27 to Ryan Chapman. Does look like he's going to complete it. Does pass the 99 there. 5th place, top 5 for the 27 of Chapman. But I tell you what, the race is up front. It is heating up. The 81 looked like he has just been fired out of a cannon, Jeremy. He is putting a lot of pressure on the 28 of McKinney right now. Probably more pressure than McKinney was expecting. Final lap for the 28. One more rotation around Charlotte before we crown ourselves a winner of the Charlotte 200.
27 to Ryan Chapman. Mr. Where did he come from? All of 2023A, showing his face once again why he's called that, at least in my playbook. But we're seeing the 28 and the 81. Last ditch effort for the 81. Does he have anything through 3? Does not look like it. They're going to run identical line through turns 3 and 4. And the Martin Sports winning moment belongs to Cody McKinney, bringing home the checkered flag for the first time in a long time for this guy. Nice job to play the strategy correctly to get this thing done. Cody McKinney, winner of the 2023 B opening race.
Yeah, I tell you what, though. I mean, kudos to second place. That 81 of Grenett. I mean, that was a hell of a run coming in late on that one there. And the 85 of Brannigan bringing it home 3rd. How about Justin Dilts, though? I mean, look at this top 5. I mean, this was a fantastic freaking race. I mean, Dilts running there in 4th. Chapman, Mr. Like you said, where did he come from? 5th. You got JP Burns in 6th. I mean, this was a fantastic finish and just out of nowhere.
I said first time in a long time. I'm going to take that back because he won 2 races last season, so correct my mistake there, but you're going to see him burn it down. He had his team in McKinney Racing has been doing so well through the back half of 2023A, the rookie season here at FTSR, and continuing the momentum to bring the first victory of the season here for this team. Excellent job by the 28, just doing the wall burnout. Burn it down, boy. You got just well deserved that checkered flag here tonight. And as he's doing so, we're going to go over the unofficial results here for the Charlotte 200. Cody McKinney is going to be P1. Tyler Grenett, opening race here for him at FTSR, going to be P2. And his teammate Mark Brannigan also P3. So job well done for that team. Fourth place, Justin Diltz. Fifth place, Ryan Chapman. Sixth place, J.P. Burns. Tyler Brown's going to bring it home seventh. Bobby Terrell, eighth. Marshall Johnson, ninth. And tonight's top 10 car, Colton Gum.
Yeah, heartbreaker for Brody Hanna, finishes just outside the top 10 and 11th. Joey McKinney, after bringing out one of the early cautions, or being part of it rather, does bring it home in 12th. Good rebound for that McKinney Racing team there. Richie Coy, we seen him being part of a caution, a Roasted Gems Coffee caution, brings it home 13th. Steve Loomis, 14th. Colby Mice in 15th. Good top 15 finish for the number 8 crew. Steven Allen in 16th. Tony Solari brings it home 17th after that phenomenal save after contact from his teammate, 23 of Brody Hanna. Stephen Hollinsworth, after being part of a couple cautions, brings it home 18th. 19th is going to be Alan Duranco, and rounding out your top 20, Tommy Schaefer.
21st place is going to be Robert Malikian. 22nd, Sherwood Williford. 23rd place, Michael Blackner. 24th will be Curtis Vollmer. 25th, TJ Bartel. Connor LaFrance going to bring it home in 26th. Austin Gassion, 27th. Richard Tucker, 28th. 29th, Shad Curran. 30th, Derek Catt. 31st, Sylvain Jolly and James Torrey rounds out tonight's 32 truck field here at the Charlotte 200. We're going to go to full screen commercial break, bring in the top 3, get their final thoughts for tonight's opening season race. We'll be back after a few messages. And welcome to the March Sports post-race show, where we're going to bring in your guys' top 3 for tonight's race and their final thoughts on this season opener. First and foremost, we're going to bring in newcomer to this league, Mark Brannigan Jr., driver of the 85 Rogue Energy 213 swimmer machine. Mr. Mark, do you have a copy? Mark Brannigan, this is Jeremy in the Nerd TV booth. You have a copy?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Hey, man, awesome job there tonight. Welcome to FTSR, and you did so. You put on a great show for your opening race here. Just kind of maintain top 10, top 5 all race long. Toward the end, you had some tire strategy to work in your favor to bring it back home in the top 3 podium finish. Walk us through your night tonight.
Yeah, it started off good, decent qualifying, and throughout the whole night, pretty much kept the truck pretty clean. I had a few incidents, but the last caution came out, and some miscommunication. I stayed out and ended up still finishing third, which I'm very happy about. Yeah, my teammate Ty, I was hoping he would get the win. He had a good battle with the leader there at the end, but yeah.
Yeah, he gave it all he had, and your whole team really showed up and did very well. Two of the three trucks taking home, at least in the podium spots here. Walk us through on how you guys found the FTSR and what kind of prep work did you guys do to get these trucks ready for the opening event?
Um, Me and we're a new and upcoming team, so we were looking for leagues to run. We found this one, and we liked it instantly. We wanted to register right away, and um, we're not quite fully done with the trucks, and we didn't get them fully ready in time, but we put some sponsors on it that we have. Got them done just in time. Came here and put on a great show. It was very fun.
Well, I'm glad to have you guys over here at this FTSR group. It's going to be a great season for you guys if you can keep this kind of speed up all season long here. You got 12 races left, but the floor is yours. Who would you like to thank before we let you go this evening?
First of all, my team. Two of the four ended up in wrecks, but 2 out of 4 in the top three is a very good night. I would like to thank our sponsors, Rogue Energy, 2 and 3 somewhere, um, Butt Kicker, and yeah, uh, thanks for giving us an opportunity to be in this. Thank you guys for broadcasting.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Appreciate all the kind words. Go ahead and celebrate. That was a great season opener for your team there.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. And that was Mark Brannigan, driver of the 85 Rogue Energy Ford F-150. Now it's time to bring in his teammate, position number 2 on the boards, Mr. Tyler Greneau. You have a copy?
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, man, just actually, I want to fact check myself. Is it Greneau? Is that how you pronounce that?
Granat.
Grenat. I had that in the beginning. I should have kept that. Either way, man, congratulations. 2 teammates in the top 3 to open up the FTSR series premiere for your guys' team there. Um, just walk us through your night and how are you able to get yourself in position to fight Cody McKinney there at the end?
It was an up and down night. I started very far deep in the field, like 25th, I think, and then got caught up in a wreck early. Was able to fix all the damage and just slowly made my way forward, and then a couple cautions at the end. I restarted like 12th and then 8th, and then found myself 4th and was able to get the second there with like 5 to go and try to go for the win there. Just I kept getting tight behind Cody and couldn't get it done, but uh, overall, very proud of the night from where it started to how it ended.
Yeah, I would say so for sure. And you had some damage there on the front. Your nose was pushed in a little bit, some left rear damage. Do you think that kind of affected your truck when you got behind the Cody McKinney there toward the end?
It might have. I mean, it felt good before that, but once I got real close to him, you know how it is, dirty air, and I just got very tight. 1 and 2, I seemed to be good, and I could gain on him, but 3 and 4, it was just way too tight. So I'm sure it played a little bit of a role into being tight, but I'm not sure how much.
Yeah, that's a fair statement there for sure. But congratulations again, man. Bringing on P2. They're going to bring some awesome momentum for the 12 other races here for 2023B. Can't wait to see it. But the floor is yours. Who would you like to thank before we let you go this evening?
Well, thank you guys for putting this on and broadcasting. I want to thank Mark. He had a great race, and he was up front the entire time. And then my other 2 teammates, Austin and Connor, they both had a rough race, but overall, it was a good team night, and I don't know, it's good to start off that way.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. Congratulations on P2 and hope for continued success throughout the whole 2023 B season for your team.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Yes, sir. You're welcome. And that was Tyler Granat, driver of the 81 DeWalt Ford F-150. Now it's time to load up the Martin Sports Victory Lane for Mr. Cody McKinney to start this thing off in Victory Lane. How are you doing tonight, man?
I'm good after that one.
I believe it. I believe it. Your team just continued to gain momentum through the back half of the first season in A, and now you come into B, and you just have a stellar truck. Started inside the top 5, did not leave the entire night, and that truck was on a rail toward the end. Did you have to make any changes knowing how fast the 23 was in the beginning?
I actually, the way I drove the truck, yeah. Throughout the week and couple C opens that I ran Monday, that I was kind of driving a little too hard, too early. My line was just completely off. But coming in, I kind of learned from that. Started to figure out a little bit better on where I could drive the truck and keep the tires underneath and try and save as much as possible. And I was hoping me, Brody, we're gonna keep the battle going all race. Um, but yeah, that first stage was fun.
And then I think through stage two, I think I saw your truck kind of searching around a little bit. You ran the bottom for the most part. You ran toward the middle. Were you just kind of testing the waters to see where your truck is going to be best, or did you have a game plan coming from the get-go of where you knew where to put the truck?
I had a little bit of a game plan. On the long runs, I kind of wanted to move up the track a little bit for sure, but the track conditions kind of changed a little bit, so I had to change that up. Um, but yeah, I mean, I was searching around a little bit, trying to find a little bit more grip and ways to keep the momentum up and not lose too much time, too much tire.
Yeah, 10-4 on that. Pretty exciting race from our perspective too, and you're one of the very few trucks that did not have any damage, at least the visually that I saw. So, I mean, good job on just keeping the truck clean alone. But of course, before we let you go, floor is yours. Who would you like to thank before we set you off, man?
McKinney Racing, Tommy Schaefer, and Tyler Brown. They've been working with us since probably about 2 years now, but for FTSR through last season, we just kind of been working as a group with me, Joey, them two. Everybody that helps puts this together. FTSR for having us back, y'all for coming back and keeping this show rolling.
Well, appreciate all the words, man. Go ahead and celebrate with the team. Job well done, and it looks like this team's going to be contending for this championship. So, just wishing you success through the other 12 races in the season, as we got a little short track stint coming up. So, just good luck on that, man.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. And that was the driver of the 28, Mr. Cody McKinney, bringing it home P1 to start the season off right. Dustin, what's your thoughts on this 1.5-mile race with 8 cautions here? It produced a lot of fun around the whole entire track all night long.
It did. It really did. The racing was exactly what I would expect from Charlotte. The race in action, was side by side. We've seen a lot of side by side racing. We've seen give and take at times. At the other times, we've seen a little bit of aggression, a little bit of I'm going to use the bumper. Hell, Jeremy, at one time we even seen them 4 wide down the backstretch. So, the racing was fantastic. It really was. The cautions that come out, yeah, there were 8. That's typically more than what we see for FTSR, but the cautions for the most part were hard racing cautions. It's exactly what this type of track, it's the racing it produces. So nothing that I would expect anything less. And actually, I would expect relatively about the same show quality come next Monday when the Mach 1 Performance Cup Series drivers hit this very same track. One thing I love is this starts as a day, transitions to night. I love night racing. I do. If it was me, I think every race should be done under the lights. I think it looks better. It's got a better feel, faster. That's just me. But I am super excited. You brought it up earlier. I am super excited about the schedule coming up. Um, those next 3 races, it's either a short track or it races like a short track. And one of my personal favorites. I've been waiting to call a race here, for broadcasting. Iowa, it's a home track for me. I think you're going to see a lot of excellent racing coming out of these Martin Sports Truck drivers coming up for the next 3 weeks of racing action. So it's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, I would expect you in Iowa. I mean, I love that track, but I know that's your home track essentially on the major circuits. So I know you're looking forward to it as well. It races so well with the multi-groove system. I wish more tracks would implement it. Maybe North Wilkesboro, if they get a repave, we might see. I don't know, but either way, yeah, it's gonna be great. I'm gonna love it. This season's gonna be awesome for 2023B, and what's in store for you guys that are gonna be watching on the Nerd TV side of things for the Full Throttle Sim Racing. But we're going to bring this broadcast to a close. I'm going to thank our partners one last time. As always, I'm going to lead off with the league that you're watching, FTSR. And we got a bunch of new guys in. We love to see it, but there's still some spaces in the field that could be filled. They were not to the full 40 extent. So if you want to join in, FTSR.net, that's your place to go. Get yourself registered. Got the team charter system and everything. It's kind of unique in the sim world at the moment. So get yourself in here and get your team signed up. Mach 1 Performance, the Monday sponsor for the Cup Series. It's a race fabrication shop that's produced champions and winners of all sorts of racing divisions. You can find them at Facebook at facebook.com/Mach 1 Performance. Sim Racing Points, your league points management system that allows you to completely track your league stats and more with a simple upload of the export. Find them at simracingpoints.com. Martin Sports, top quality apparel to make you look stylish and feel comfortable, which is important. See the whole apparel lineup at martinsports.gg. iRacing iFlag. Get your iRacing notifications just a fraction of a second faster without ever leaving the focus from the action in front of you. Visit iRacingIFlag.com to see all that they have to offer you. Butt Kicker, the ultimate feel from the race car with a haptic response system from the Butt Kicker. You're going to head over to thebuttkicker.com to see their full product lineup for your sim rig. Team Watson Racing setups, quality professionally built for all your asphalt oval needs. You'll find them at teamwatsonracing.com. Check out their pricing and packages. And lastly, Roasted Gems Coffee. Coffee beans roasted just for you. Start your day the right way with Roasted Gems Coffee. Find them at roastedgems.com to get a taste. Dustin, great broadcast here to open up this thing for the 2023 B season. We will see you guys on Monday as the Mach 1 Cup Series does take to Charlotte for the longest race of the season. But until then, you guys stay safe and forever and always, get your nerd on.